Back and smiling because Carson's here.
Hello, guys. Good morning, everybody. Jay Leno's opening up about a remarkable comedy show that he was able to pull off just hours after a terrifying fall. Sheinelle has that story.
Good morning to all of you guys this morning. The longtime Tonight Show host is downplaying what happened with his usual sense of humor, but fans are concerned after Leno appeared with dramatic injuries this week, the latest in a recent string of accidents for him. Can you imagine? And guys, Leno was treated at a hospital after he got back to Los Angeles from that show. But as you saw, he says he's okay and always ready to just keep performing. You know,
he's got a threshold of pain. When I interviewed him after that fire, I remember he said he was at home with his wife that night before going to the hospital. We just hope that everything's going okay for Jay.
Yeah.
He's like, the show must go on. He really does. Get in there.
All right, guys, coming up, Lauren Sanchez is going to join us.
Good morning. Welcome to this third hour of today. I am Craig. This is Sheinelle. You know Dylan Dreyer. Mr. Roker is off. It's Wednesday. Do you know what that means?
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day!
Yes. And you don't have your buddy here to do it with you.
But we had to do it in his honor. In his honor.
For you,
so, and you know he's at home right now watching.
Yeah. So we'll probably get a text in just a moment.
We do have a lot to get to on this hump day morning. We're going to start off with some extreme weather, really all over.
Mountains, we could see about 3 feet of snow.
Oh, my goodness.
There are terms that you use that I really enjoy every time you use them. Monsoonal moisture, one of my favorites. Bombogenesis, top of the list.
You want to know what it means?
Yes.
It's when a storm, the center of the storm drops 24 millibars in 24 hours. This one's dropping 66.
So what is that?
It's a very strong storm, one of the strongest storms in the Pacific Ocean in like a decade.
Wow.
You should be a meteorologist.
I heard your pie conversation yesterday. This is at the level of the pie conversation.
I know, but I actually wish I had something deeper to say. And so I'm mad at myself for saying wow.
Well, let me tell you, that Dylan Dreyer, she's not just a pretty face.
I mean,
thank you. Thanks for calling me pretty.
There you go. All right, well, turning now to late-night legend Jay Leno's terrifying accident earlier this week. The comedian is now through his new animated magical adventure.
As your trusted counselor, your esteemed mentor, I implore you to... What's that hairy thing?
And actor Ryan Eggold stops by to talk about all the twists in his latest thriller series.
And I knew that if I put a little by the door, you'd take it. Reflex.
That's all ahead today, Wednesday, November 20th, 2024.
Live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza, this is the third hour of today.
Good morning. Welcome to this third hour of today. I am Craig. This is Sheinelle. You know Dylan Dreyer. Mr. Roker is off. It's Wednesday. Do you know what that means?
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Hump day!
Yes. And you don't have your buddy here to do it with you.
But we had to do it in his honor. In his honor.
For you,
so, and you know he's at home right now watching.
So we'll probably get a text in just a moment.
We do have a lot to get to on this hump day morning. We're going to start off with some extreme weather, really all over the country, including that deadly bomb cyclone that is slamming the Pacific Northwest. What's going on out there?
I mean, there's so much going on coast to coast. In the Northeast, it's been the fire danger. We have been waiting for some rain to help with the drought. We are finally going to get some rain moving eastward across the Great Lakes region today, and then eventually up into the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast tomorrow. So it's going to start at some rain later on tonight into early tomorrow morning. The backside of this whole thing gets pretty cold, so we could see some wraparound snow on the backside of it with some of the higher elevations picking up some accumulating snow. But as for rain, we could see about 1 to 3 inches of rain. That will certainly help those fire conditions that we've been seeing out there. We need a little more to help with the drought conditions, but it's a start. And then we could see up to about 9 to 12 inches of snow in some of the higher elevations. Now let's go out west. We've been calling it a bomb cyclone because it is a rapidly intensifying storm. It wraps around that moisture, picks it up off the Pacific Ocean, and then dumps it into northwestern California and southwestern Oregon. This is going to produce so much rain. I mean, 10 to 20 inches of rain, mudslides, rock slides, landslides. Those are all a possibility across northwestern California, southwestern Oregon, where we will see some of those higher rainfall totals. Winds have been gusting too, and then in the mountains, we could see about 3 feet of snow.
Oh, my goodness.
There are terms that you use that I really enjoy every time you use them. Monsoonal moisture, one of my favorites. Bombogenesis, top of the list.
You want to know what it means?
Yes.
It's when a storm, the center of the storm drops 24 millibars in 24 hours. This one's dropping 66.
So what is that?
It's a very strong storm, one of the strongest storms in the Pacific Ocean in like a decade.
Wow.
You should be a meteorologist.
I heard your pie conversation yesterday. This,
I
this
wish
is at
I
the
had
level of the
something-
pie
I
conversation.
know, but I actually wish I had something deeper to say. And so I'm mad at myself for saying wow.
Let me tell you, that Dylan Dreyer, she's not just a pretty face.
I mean, look
Thank
at
you.
that.
Thanks for calling me pretty.
There you go. All right. Well, turning now to late night legend Jay Leno's terrifying accident earlier this week. The comedian is now opening up about an impressive comedy show just hours after sustaining, look at this, some serious injuries. This was after a 60-foot fall. And while he's not skipping a beat on stage, fans are certainly concerned about the longtime Tonight Show host. This morning, Jay Leno revealing he's had a major accident. The legendary comedian showing up for his latest performance with an eye patch, broken wrist, and a very bruised face, telling Inside Edition he recently took a serious tumble down a hill.
I'm a little beat up. Oh my gosh. Fell 60 feet.
How are you?
Boom, boom, boom.
Leno says one of the rocks he hit injured his eye.
You hit a rock on your face.
Right. Well, I hit a bunch of rocks. It was 60 feet, you know.
And what's happened here?
It broke my wrist, and then I'm all black and blue from 60
Oh my God.
feet.
Just last year, Leno was involved in a motorcycle accident that resulted in a shattered collarbone, 2 broken ribs, and 2 cracked kneecaps. At the time, saying he was knocked off a classic 1940 Indian motorcycle when he rode into a wire stretched across 2 poles. That accident happened just 2 months after Leno was severely burned when a fire erupted in his garage while he was working on a vintage car. Leno telling Hoda about the terrifying incident.
Suddenly, boom, I got a face full of gas, and then the pilot light jumped and my face caught on fire.
Leno spending over a week at a burn center, including hours in a hyperbaric chamber, but still keeping his perspective.
Is this how you get through? Like, this is so remarkable to me.
Yes, it is. But you know something? In the real world, this happens to people every single day. If you work with your hands, people work with their hands get injured every single day.
And even after his most recent fall, Leno going on with his show just hours later, the iconic showman not wanting to disappoint his fans.
We want Jay to take care of himself.
You know, we were saying earlier, I remember when Hoda interviewed him from before, and he was in the hospital in the burn unit. Do you remember he was entertaining some of the nurses and giving back to some of the kids? I mean, it's one of those things where he takes a knock and then he just keeps giving.
Keeps going because
keeps going.
like the show must go on.
Absolutely.
And I think he embraces that.
But we wish him the best this morning.
Thanksgiving, folks, here's your public service announcement. It is, 8 days away now? Good Lord, 8 days away. All eyes on inflation. We've got some good news for you this morning about the cost of your holiday feast. Here to break down just how much those delicious holiday staples are going to take out of your budget, NBC senior business correspondent Christine Romans is here.
Good morning.
So, I mean, let's just start with the big question on everyone's mind. Is it going to be cheaper to get everything on the table this year than last year?
Let's talk turkey. The turkey's going to be a little bit cheaper.
What do you have in your house? Your Thanksgiving bill has got to be like...
I can't imagine. You should see my Costco meat bill alone. It's like a car payment. Just
Christine is my future because I see what it's like to feed 3 little boys, and I know what's coming.
Yes, it's a lot of calories are consumed in my house.
Thank you, Christine.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, Vicki Wynn is here.
Back now with a festive Consumer Confidential. We are just 5 weeks away now from Christmas, and all the trees, lights, and decorations mean tis the season for holiday safety refresh. So our senior consumer investigative correspondent, Vicki Wynn, is here with some helpful reminders. Good morning to you.
Good morning to you.
I would say some of these things are no-brainers, but every year we need this little kind of
It's nice to get a safety refresh, especially when it comes to fire danger.
Yeah,
right,
let's
Sheinelle?
talk about picking the right tree, because that's important.
Okay, so we are, as you said, 5 weeks away from Christmas. We're right in that happy period of 4 to 6 weeks is how long a fresh tree should last.
Okay.
Fresh cut is always going to be the best, but if you don't feel like climbing up the mountain and whipping out your saw this year and you end up at like Home Depot, as our family does.
Yeah, or mine.
Yeah, you want to go and make sure that the tree is a vibrant green color, that it's either in the shade or out of direct sun. You can always ask, hey, how long has this tree been here? And then when you run your fingers through the branches, the bristles, the needles on the tree should feel flexible and sturdy. Not a ton of them should fall off. Some
Because that means they're dry?
Yes, that's what you do not want a dry Christmas tree. The National Fire Protection Association estimates there are about 1,000 fires just during the holidays from decorations and Christmas trees. So the fresher and more moist that you can get your tree, then the less that risk will be. And then as far as just making sure that it's got a fresh cut at the bottom, before you take it off the lot, you want to ask them to cut 1 inch or 2 off the bottom so it's ready to take in water.
Okay, good advice.
And you said ask about the age of the
much easier. This is how you water your tree. Instead of being down on your hands and knees, you just get a pitcher of water, fresh plain
I've never
water.
seen one of those.
This thing is amazing.
I've never
Whoever
seen one of
invented
those.
this is a
How do you
genius.
know how full it is? What if you keep
You spray it with all that white flocking, then it is no longer recyclable. You may not even want that in your house these days. Like, what are you breathing
I know.
in,
What is
really?
that chemical?
Never burn a tree in the fireplace. They're full of flammable oils, and it can be not only very, very dangerous, but also the smell is not good to breathe in for your home. And then finally, when it comes to artificial trees, those do have a shelf life too. And so if you're thinking of like maybe getting another tree, look for a charity senior home that might appreciate yours. Yeah, as long as it's not too run down.
I just learned a lot.
Yeah,
Thank you, Vic.
Thank you,
Thank you very much. When we come back, not one, but
You know
the
it's good,
perfect clip.
right? And you know it's good when we're all smiling. That's what you want. So this is such a cute movie. That was your character trying to kind of rein in the princess. What makes this story so special? What do you think?
Where to stand here. So it's time for Wellness Wednesday, and this morning we are taking care of our plants. The weather is getting cooler, and we want to make sure that they stay healthy through the winter months. So we have brought in our expert, Hilton Carter, here to help us give our plants a little TLC, the author of the Propagation Handbook. So nice to have you.
Good morning.
Welcome back, expert.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, this, Hilton, is the plant you gave me, I don't even know, maybe 2 or 3 years ago
I think
now?
it was 2 years ago. It's an olive tree.
It looks great.
It's been doing well. I know over the summer you had it produce
I had
olives.
3 flowers and 3 little baby teeny olives.
Baby olives is great. That says a lot
you eat
about you as a plant parent.
They never grew big enough.
Yeah, she shouldn't eat them.
Really? Why?
Just because they're not going to grow perfectly for you. But it just says a lot about you.
Yeah.
But now that you're bringing them inside the house, which
Yes.
everyone should bring their plants inside right now because it's getting cold, you want to place them in a spot that's going to get a lot of light. I heard Vicky say earlier in the segment about Christmas trees. People love to put their Christmas trees where all the light is.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. Like she said, let's allow our plants, our house plants, to get all of that
What if you
good
don't
light.
have a lot of sunlight coming?
If you don't have a lot of sunlight, grow lights. That's when you want to introduce grow lights into your space. I put grow lights in my home all year round because the operative word, grow, it helps your plants grow. So you want to provide your plants with as much light as possible, especially during the winter, because they're going to need it.
And when should I replant it?
This one I would say probably give it until spring. Then you might want to repot it, add fresh soil, that'll add fertilizer so it can grow more. But keep doing the indoor, outdoor.
Will you give me like an A- on this thing?
I'm going to give you an A, not a minus.
All right.
You're doing a great job.
This has been my baby for a while.
Grow light. I think I need to introduce more grow lights in my house.
do.
Actually. So this is a plant from my office. I full disclosure, I don't take care of it as well as I do some of
Do you know what it's called? I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
No, it's not. No, actually, I don't know what this is called.
It's a golden pothos, but
you thought I was going to know that.
hey man, the golden pothos was the first houseplant.
Oh, I didn't know that. No,
it's a joke. I don't think it was. But what I'm saying with this one, when it comes to plants coming in the winter, moisture, understanding that it's not going to be based on your schedule. You can't base watering your plants on schedules anymore. You have to base it on the moisture level of the soil. You can check that different ways. You can use a moisture meter.
You introduced me to that.
Moisture meters are great because you can stick it in. It has a little indicator that says dry, wet, or moist. You want to keep most plants to a certain moist or let them dry, then water them. You can stick your finger in them.
I love that.
Or you can pick them up. They are different, I would say, weights if they're dry versus if they're moist. That is very important. Most people this time of year will kill plants based on the fact that they are over-watering.
That's so interesting.
I would prefer you underwater than overwater.
Because we always feel like it's the right thing to do to keep them watered.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so these are Al Roker's plants. He's not here, but we took him out of his office. Because
Good old Al.
I know he had questions about keeping your plants warm and happy with less humidity.
With less
That's a
humidity.
picture of Al's office.
You want to add more humidity when it comes to bringing them into the
So you
winter.
want humidity.
You want humidity. You want to
we can't have it
basically
in my house.
replicate what they get in the wild, and that is tropical plants need a tropical environment.
Sense. That
So
makes
whether
sense.
you're adding a humidifier, which is this, to add humidity, not only does it make your plants look great, it makes our skin look great, right?
Okay, that's
It's
fair.
sweet. Or you
What
can
is
use
that?
a mister. Watch this guy. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it going.
Watch you.
Look at that. Oh, watch you. Uh-oh.
Ponytail.
Oh, that's beautiful.
You know what I mean?
there's your new
Now,
tool.
misting your plant isn't going to provide a lot of humidity throughout the day.
cool.
But for me, it's a great meditative way to just enjoy your plants.
Craig found a new toy.
Grouping your plants together is also a good thing because it creates a little environment for the plants together.
Wait, they like
to be around each other because no
Really?
one wants to be alone during the holidays, right?
Did they tell you that?
Plants always tell me all these things. Your olive tree said she loves you. So this is what you want to do. You want to bring your plants together during the
interesting.
holidays. They'll create their own little ecosystem. Humidity will flow.
Can I tell you something? Al
Please.
actually he really did have a question. He wants to know about these little brown spots.
His crocodile fern here, I gifted this to him as well.
Yeah, what happened?
This one isn't getting enough light. You can tell based on the type of browning that's happening in this foliage.
Okay.
If it was crispy and on the edges, I would say it's lack of moisture. This is
Like
telling
this-
me
like this leaf over
this
here?
This is telling me this isn't getting enough light. And I'm sure this is probably in his office.
It is.
where
That's yep.
He needs to bring a grow light in.
Okay.
Now, when we're talking about plants,
Yes.
Sheinelle, I know you love a good plant.
I'm obsessed with plants. I got so many.
You haven't killed any plant. You got to hold it down.
Hold it down.
Like
See,
that.
you don't get the
There it
fancy.
is.
There you go.
This is a gift from me
Wait.
to you.
Really?
Yes, it's the gift giving season. You want to have this plant. It's a ZZ plant,
Hi.
low maintenance plant. So whether it's a ZZ, snake plant, or pothos, it'll be perfect for you.
I actually really
I
like
know
this.
you're very busy.
Next time I
know
see
you'll have-
you, I'm going to tell you all about this plant and how I've kept it alive.
Next time you see him, that plant will be deader than dead.
What do I have to do?
The one thing, you kind of want to avoid it. Avoid it.
Oh, just leave it alone?
I want you to talk to it, but
You know,
don't
this
give it
I
a lot
I
of
feel
water.
You. I want people to avoid me too.
Don't give it a lot of water. Make sure it's in a proper
Me and
spot in
you,
your
we
home.
get each other.
It can,
Just wanna leave us alone.
it can tolerate low light maybe in your office.
Okay.
It just doesn't want a lot of moisture.
Hilton, you're
So
the
be
best,
kind.
I know, we're
We
sitting
love it when you
together.
come.
I'm so excited about
I know.
plants.
Thank you for
Thank
having me.
you.
So yeah,
you.
make sure that
And by the way, this look, woo.
hey, it's not what you're white. Come on.
Thank you, Hilton. Coming up.
Coming up, festive holiday cocktails we deserve. All right, Thanksgiving is right around the corner, and what better way to get into the holiday spirit than with spirits? So here to show us how to make some festive seasonal drinks is Tim Sweeney, one of our favorites. He's the head bartender at Pebble Bar. If you're ever here in New York City, stop by Rockefeller
the
Center.
spot.
It is the spot, and he is the man.
And you can
when it comes to
sample all these
cocktails.
yourself.
So good. Good
What are we
morning.
starting with?
Thank you so much, y'all.
This first one is my jam. It's called the State of Grace.
This is a special one for me.
Right?
'cause
I know. Here, just let me bathe me in it.
I know how much you love bourbon. I saw it the other day during his coronation right here. This one's a special one for me because it's named after my little sister, whose name is obviously
Grace.
No, her name is State.
Shout out, Tim.
Grace Sweeney from Madison, Wisconsin. So this one's for her. It's a cinnamon, mango, bourbon, Aperol cocktail in there.
Oh, this
Yeah.
is like my new best friend.
Oh, but I thought you didn't like bourbon, though.
Oh, this
We don't even have to do the rest.
All right, you use the right bourbon in it. We use like a Jefferson's bourbon in this. It's gorgeous. It's got summer and fall kind of all put together with the cinnamon and all that.
That's good.
This is very
great.
So what's in it?
I tried. So we have lemon, we have cinnamon, we have Aperol, we have mango, we have bourbon, and a little bit of orange bitters to go with it like that.
Mango puree?
Mango puree.
So all of
You
this
can dump it all in there if you like.
Yes, sir. And you said Jefferson's is your choice for this?
Jefferson's is our choice for this, yes.
Okay.
And
Absolutely.
bourbon, not rye. I don't even think Jefferson's does a rye, do they?
Oh, they actually do. They do Jefferson's Ocean Rye.
That's right.
Yeah.
What's this red stuff?
Yeah, that is Aperol, so you get that bitterness to it. You can kind of taste that on the back end. You want to do this whole thing? Let's do it. All right. Don't get it on your beautiful jacket.
Although it would match.
Craig, it's been a big week for both of us. You were named anchor, and the Packers beat the Bears on a blocked field goal, so I think we're kind of even on this one. All right, we're going to move it down.
Right, what's next?
Okay, this one might ruin your palate for everything else, but what we have, this resembles a certain cookie sold by Girl Scouts. I don't know if I am allowed to say the name, but I think we all know what I'm talking about here.
What you mean?
Thin mint.
Yes,
We
I'm
can
sure
say
there's
thin mint.
mint
We can
involved.
say thin mint. Okay, we're saying thin
we
mint,
gotta
so
make
it's
it.
absolutely fine.
I thought it was
make
the
it.
Samoa.
We don't want to run out of time.
This is like a grasshopper and a Brandy Alexander put together. You got cacao, you got creme de menthe,
my
you got
gosh.
cream, you got brandy. Little tough to drink on there.
This is delicious.
Yeah,
I'm
this is
lactose
excellent.
intolerant, so I'm
And
not
I
going to
don't
spend too much time on that.
Are you?
Yeah.
Oh, no one told
Nobody
me.
wants that.
Is there
Listen.
milk or cream or what is
There's
that?
cream in there. So,
Okay.
do you want to try zhuzhing the cacao on top of it?
Yes, I do.
Go from really high Yeah.
Oh,
make it
nice.
rain.
Whoops.
You know what?
Making it a mess. Whoops.
Well, it's
Sorry.
for a photo shoot, so it's perfect. It has that great spray.
Right?
man.
There we go.
Now we're going to move on to that beautiful red cocktail
Okay.
here. It's somewhere between a spicy strawberry margarita and a strawberry daiquiri put together. I know this is holiday cocktails, but you know, Cinco de Mayo is a holiday, so let's do that, right?
Well, this is good.
Then I made it wrong. You know what? We're going to live with that.
What's in this one?
So we have rum and tequila, which is not a common combo, really, on that one.
That's another win.
Yeah, it's almost my occupation.
And
you know?
it's spicy.
So yeah, it's got a little bit of spice there on the back end. Too spicy?
Wow. No. I love
All right. Yeah, no.
And not too sweet either.
See, it's a perfect balance, you know? That's what, 5 years I worked on this cocktail in a lab. And
Did you
finally
make it? Oh, shoot, we're almost out of time.
We're almost out of time?
Did you make that one?
Of course I made this one.
Okay.
What's this last one, Tim?
We'll do it. This one is a Gold Rush mixed with ginger ale. So,
wait,
you know,
what?
it's like, yeah, it's a whiskey ginger kind of mixed with the Gold Rush. You got honey, you got lemon, you got Tennessee whiskey, you got ginger ale. It's a super easy one to make. They make this one at Ray's hometown bars in town, so that's why it's called Ray Charles.
Oh, wow.
We also have State of Grace. It's called Gracing the Lily. It's at the Broken Shaker right now, so it's moving around. It's finding its way throughout New York.
The cocktails tour.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love that.
Know,
Tim,
I mean, if they put enough money in my back pocket, I'd do it.
You always bat 1,000, Tim.
Well, thank you so
I know,
much,
and
y'all.
I'm like, I can't
Someday I'm
walk
going to
around.
get something that you spit out.
Can't walk around with both, but
It's
I love
just
them.
hard drinking them all at once.
For these
At 9
For
in the
you.
morning.
I'm a professional, you know?
For these recipes, scan the QR code or head to today.com/food. It's so worth it to get even more recipes and set up your free account to save them.
Well done, Tim.
Yum.
Couple bar, baby.
We'll be right back.
Mr. Melvin, Miss Dryer, Miss Jones.
Sheinelle, come over to the Ninja
I was
Coffee
getting my
Cart.
plant.
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We have a big day tomorrow.
Big day, huge day. We're going to celebrate Throwback Thanksgiving. Some of our favorite chefs making classic holiday dishes.
Coming up on Hoda and Jenna, SNL and Wicked Star, and one of my favorite people, Bowen
He's so
Yang.
fun.